Today we want to look at climate change in prehistory. So I want to just say a few words before turning it over to our anthropologist. So right now our climate is odd. And not I would say so, but anything that would have ever been alive. Because in the past, there were just different aspects of climate. When the dinosaurs were alive, you didn't have a big chunk of ice on the South Pole or the North Pole, and the planet was far warmer than it was. For most of the past 200,000 years, it has been far colder than it is today. There were a series of ice ages, or glaciations, which began starting around 2 million years ago. Some of them are named like the Illinoisan, the Wisconsinian, because the ice sheets would stretch down and reach, say, Illinois. About 13,000 years ago, the amount of ice outside our window would have been about 1/3 of a mile straight up. All right, and so as we look around the world, we see this. We see these U-shaped valleys that, advancing ice sheets scraped out and then retreated. So ice certainly changes. All right, the temperature has certainly changed. We can measure that. If you go to Florida, you see all this white rock. Why is all of this Florida rock and all the rock in the Keys, why is it white? Because this is the leftovers of coral reefs. What you're standing on in the Keys was at one point the bottom of the ocean. All right, so sea level has gone up and gone down. For certain amounts of time, sea level was 6-9 meters higher than it is today. All right, and then there were times where it was far lower than it is today, so low that vast areas of what's now the bottom of the ocean was land, and therefore you could walk there. That's how humans got from Asia to North America. That's how humans got throughout islands in Indonesia, etc. And so our climate is not stable, nor is modern climate normal. And if you were to look in recent history, there was a glaciation, all right, which would have ended, maybe 130, 140,000 years ago. And then gone into an interglacial, which was very warm. And then a new glacial epoch started, which got much colder than it is today. But even within this time period, it was warmer a little bit, and then colder, and then warmer, and then colder, and then warmer, and colder, all right? Sea level went up and down, all right? And so, if modern sea level was here, in the interglacial, when it got warm and ice melted, then sea level would have reached the top person, and then as the ice sheets formed, it went down again. And so climate does not stay the same. It changes, and the past 100,000 years, the past 10,000 years, have been marked by lots of different epochs of change. As as sea level has gone down, as ice sheets have expanded. Right. Now, humans have been around for a long time. Depending on how you define human, our species is 100,000 to 200,000 years old. There's a new skull, maybe a little older than that. Our genus goes back 2.5 million years. So there have been people alive during these vast changes in climate. How has it impacted them? What have they had to go through? And not only is this interesting, but perhaps as we go forward in a climate which seems to be changing, all right, what might this bode for us? So that's the question of today. How has climate change in prehistory affected humans? And with that intro,